So I's up here. I lied. I said sales journal. We're going to do purchases. I was remembering incorrectly. But our purchases journal is really, really easy because how many columns are there for numbers? 1. Now, when we take a look at our purchases journal, we only have 1 spot for numbers. You don't have to write the same number twice like we do for debits and credits, because when we use our purchases journal, we're using that when we buy merchandise on an account. Okay, merchandise are the things that we're going to turn around and sell. So for example, if I am selling staplers, I physically have to buy the stapler to turn around and sell it. So when I buy items that I'm going to turn around and sell, I'm going to be affecting the cost account called purchases. So the account title is purchases, the classification is costs. So we are now adding a new classification. We have assets, liabilities, owner's equity, which we're now going to call stockholders' equity. Okay, so instead of it being owner's equity, we're saying stockholders' equity because we're a corporation, and corporations have stock owners. Okay. Then we're going to do our revenue account, cost account. Cost accounts has a debit normal balance. It takes away from my net income. Okay, so it's going to cost account is going to be purchases, and then we have our expenses. So if I turn around and I buy this stapler from Home Depot, not Home Depot, Office Depot, that makes more sense, and I'm buying it on account, that means I am going to pay my accounts payable later, and I am getting merchandise now. So I'm going to debit my purchases account, and I am going to credit my accounts payable account because I owe them money. And when we look here, I have my date column, which looks the same, but notice right here, it doesn't say item. What does it say? Account credited. So what we are going to be writing there is going to be our account title. For me, my example would be Office Depot. Okay. It doesn't say source document. It says purchase number. So I don't need to write the P, the S, the C. All I'm going to need to do is just write the actual purchase number. So when we buy items on an account that we're going to turn around to sell, we are going to be using something called a purchase invoice, and they would be numbers P1, P7, P15. And all I would need to do right here is just write the 17 or the 3 or whatever the purchase invoice number is. The other thing that you will notice is these are all going to be consecutively numbered. So your first one on here should be 1, and the one directly after that should be 2, and then 3. If you ever miss a number, that would tell you that you missed a transaction. And then our amount column here, you will notice it says purchases DR. They abbreviate debit as DR, not DB, okay? And then we have accounts payable credit. So if I write $100 in here, that means purchases is being debited $100 and accounts payable are being credited $100. So we only have to write it once. So it makes it really easy because there is only 1 column for numbers. So when we look at our purchases journal, we know that. Let's take a look at our instructions. Our instructions read, the purchases journal for Lambert Hardway is given below. Your instructor will guide you through the following examples. Using the current year, journalize these transactions on page 10 of the purchases journal. Purchases invoice are abbreviated as P. So you can see that I already have it labeled as page 10. We have the date of October 2nd, so we're going to go ahead and put the month of October in here. The date is the 2nd. The transaction read, purchase merchandise on account from American Tools, $1,230, P116. Again, when we see the phrase in a transaction, purchase merchandise on an account, that means we are buying items that we're going to turn around and sell to our customers. It's much different than if I was going to buy paper that I was going to put in my printer. So, we have a new thing in our second unit. We are going to have subsidiary ledgers. So instead of having to write the word accounts payable beforehand, all we are going to be doing is physically typing in American Tools. And we would know that American Tools is going to be an accounts payable account. Purchase invoice is going to be 116. And then we are going to be debiting purchases and crediting accounts payable for $1,230. That's how you journalize that transaction. The date of the 7th, we're going to purchase merchandise and account from Harris Manufacturing for $480. Purchase invoice 117. On October 11th, we purchased merchandise on account from Kiesler Supply, $780, P118. Put the date of the 11th. The account credited is going to be Kiesler Supply. My purchase invoice is going to be 118 and an amount of $780. How was that? Was that really easy journalizing? Oh, I know. One thing we also have to do, though, is right here, instruction number 2, total and rule the purchases journal. Each journal we have to total and prove at the end of the month. How many days are in October? 31. So there are 31 days in October, and we're going to put the in the account credit, we are going to write total, not totals. Why? There's only one number. Okay. Then you're going to go through and use your handy dandy calculator. And you're going to add them up. And I got 2,490. Anyone else get that? Now, one of the things that you need to realize is you should add it up twice. Why should we add it up twice? Olivia, why do you think we should add it up twice? Yeah, exactly, just to make sure you're right. Because before, in your general journal, you had to prove your debits and credits, and you would do that because you had two different numbers. So in your purchases journal, you should really go through and add it up twice to make sure you didn't make a mistake adding it. Because it's really easy, like, oh yeah, there's only one set of numbers, and go through and have it add up and then have it come out, right? Did anyone agree with my 2,490? Yes? You had the wrong first number, I saw. Oh, that would happen. All right, so go ahead and complete the on your own. I don't think it'll take you very long. You need to read 9-1 for tomorrow. You kind of got a little bit of a fast 9-1 because I was worried about getting through it with the test at the beginning of the hour, but you need to read and understand that purchases account. Purchases is the new account that we're using. It is a cost account and has a debit normal balance.